But let's move on to something that is all me, all in on this.
Yeah,
I am loving it.
I'm loving it too.
I'm loving it. This is a mini-series right here.
But it's a documentary.
That's true.
Docu-series.
Docuseries.
So it's a little different.
Right. Because it's real. And that's McMillions.
Yes.
Which is just like the most mind-blowing thing I've seen recently.
It is. Yeah. I don't even know if there's a better word to describe it besides mind-blowing.
So briefly what it is, it's directed by James Lee Hernandez and Brian Lazarte. Guess that's how it is. There's a laundry list of executive producers too, but the most notable one that Mark Wahlberg that we're familiar with. It's a 6-part documentary series.
Yeah.
On HBO that it's telling the story of a former cop named Jerry Jacobson who defrauded McDonald's along with 53 different family members and friends. They stole close to $24 million over the course of 12 years, 1989 to 2001.
So crazy.
It's just so mind-boggling that I don't know about this, that nobody knows about this.
Yeah, so...
And it's real and like, just, I cannot fathom. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Me too.
At all.
So I found last night that the reason a lot of this didn't get covered in the news was because the main guy, his trial started September 10th, 2001.
Right. A day before.
Day before 9/11. So it just didn't.
Nobody's talking about McDonald's
nobody
scandal
cared
during that time.
No, nobody cared about any of that shit during that time. And I think that's why it's flown under the radar for so long.
It has. So how this series came about, which I absolutely love, is literally late night, chilling in the bed with the laptop on the chest, can't fall asleep, scrolling through Reddit, looking at people talk about the wildest, dumbest shit ever.
The TIL, today I learned.
Today I learned. We all do it. We all love it. We sometimes believe things that are complete bogus because somebody on Reddit convinces us. But James Lee Hernandez saw a subreddit thread that said, "Today I learned nobody really won the McDonald's Monopoly game." And he's like, what? And he's emotionally invested because his first job as a teenager was at McDonald's in the 90s, which is the height of this Monopoly mania.
Well, can we just talk about that for a second? I mean, I'm sure you did too, grew up with...
Oh, I'm getting the fries.
Yes.
The drink,
oh my God, I collected them. I knew which
Yes.
ones I needed to get.
Yes.
I mean, it was our childhood. Like, it is so crazy.
Absolutely. Definitely ate more McDonald's than necessary back then because of this.
Well, did you know that when this was incorporated, the monopoly started, McDonald's saw a 40% revenue increase? Yeah.
Wow.
How insane.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why this went under their nose, because they didn't give a shit who was winning.
They didn't care. They could give away $1 million and it just did not affect them at all.
So, get into more detail later, but they weren't doing the promotional sweepstakes themselves. It was run by a third-party media company known as Simon Marketing.
Yes.
That's important later.
Mm-hmm.
But how this came about, too, just a little more background before we get into it. So he found this thing on fucking Reddit before he started diving in, looking for it. Why don't I not know about this? Googling, Wikipediaing. There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there about it. So he has to legit file an FOIA, which is Freedom of Information Act, basically. And just like it is, it's just requesting information that's available to the public, but not necessarily that you could just Google it.
Exactly.
It takes 3 years. So he files that in 2012.
Yeah.
After Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to know about this. Doesn't get clear in 2015. And even when he got this trove of court documents, there still wasn't a lot of detail in it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until he got names of the agents involved and was able to reach out to them that they had even more boxes of information that got into his hands. So if you're another thing, it was, you're also thinking, how do I not know about this whole time? How has it not become a movie or a show this whole time? There was a bidding war in 2018.
No way.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
There was a bidding war in 2018 over the rights to the film, and it was announced by 20th Century Fox that it would turn into a feature narrative with Ben Affleck directing, Matt Damon starring, and the Deadpool screenwriters Paul Wernick and Rhett Reese writing the screenplay.
Why does none of that shock me? Any of those people or writers? That just seems like right up their alley.
So I think that's still... I think that's still coming into fruition, the movie.
I'd love to watch that.
These guys, Lazarte, whatever, and Hernandez were already balls deep into making McMillions at this point. They were 3 years into working. And the good thing about them is they already had the cooperation of Doug Matthews and the other FBI agents. So they weren't just going to
Yeah, he said
leave shit for the movie.
All the agents were extremely nice, so open to talking about it.
They were eager.
Yeah, they like almost every single one of them said it was their favorite case they've ever worked on.
Yep, I was reading the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. This guy, Doug Matthews, is out of central casting to play himself. If they were to make a movie about this and it wasn't a real life thing, he would be the part.
He's amazing, and he's part of why this case was so successful, because he had to go undercover a few times, and he is just the opposite of what you would expect an FBI agent to be. Funny, laughing, playing jokes.
Well, how it started is one of the craziest things.
Yeah.
He's a gung-ho, newly fresh FBI agent. Like, I need to solve the Dexter crime in Florida, because it's in Jacksonville where this all took place. And he's tired of doing his little insurance and healthcare fraud claims, like, oh, someone's back hurts from a fender bender type stuff. Sure, there's a million things like that every day.
Yeah.
He goes up to what is his mentor, manager, boss's desk, and there's a sticky note that says McDonald's fraud or something. McDonald's Monopoly.
Yeah, McDonald's Monopoly fraud.
Monopoly fraud. And he pulls it off. He's like, oh, no way. Like, this sounds awesome. This sounds fun. His guy was like shrugging it off. He's like, yeah, someone calls thinks it's rigged. Like, didn't care for it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is going to be, we got to look into this. This sounds great.
Yep. And pushed for it.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, all of this stuff.
So he called the contact, and what kicked it off was that the contact said, I know for a fact several people that have won the big prize with the McDonald's Monopoly are related. But they all have different last names. So, now, it's like in-laws or cousins, whatever. They have different last names. And that's how they were getting away with it. But somebody caught on and contacted the FBI.
Now, that's one of my things, is I'm very curious if they're going to go into that anonymous caller and who it was. Because you have to think, this is 2001 when the caller came in, when they started investigating.
Probably 2000.
2000?
First, yeah.
There's no Google and Facebook, like finding relatives. No. There's none of that. No. So how did this person know? This had to have been someone who was bitter because they didn't get their little golden ticky, no laundry.
Yeah.
Had to have been. I'm putting money on it, especially after seeing how all this unfolds.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, my boss kind of put this in our ear to watch this and get into it, which is why we started and decided to cover this instead of BoJack. And when he first explained it to me, I didn't know about the fraud.
Right.
But when I became a little knowledgeable about what it was, the McDonald's Monopoly, I was thinking immediately like acne-filled face, half balding, living in his mom's basement. Some dude was either crunching some serious data to locate the actual pieces, or he was counterfeiting the stickers, or that McDonald's themselves were rigging it. Because I do believe in shit like that with the lottery.
Well,
I do wholeheartedly, especially after watching this.
I didn't believe any of that.
That's not what it turns out to be at all.
Well, I just thought it was so I didn't realize how this was all run, which they explain. But I, right off the bat, thought it's an inside job. Somebody with McDonald's.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was like all of McDonald's, like the high up that created this was rigging it. I just thought somebody had figured out how to rig the system and they were doing it.
Right.
But that's not the case either.
Right. So yeah, that was our expectations. But coming into episode 1, like, you don't know anything, like, just strap up, because this is like an absolute roller coaster from the get-go.
It is.
And I love the way they're filming this documentary. And after reading it a little bit, it was the intention of Hernandez, because it is like quirky and humorous and funny. And they're kind of like doing it stepping stone, like as if we were the FBI agents, like how they unraveled it.
Okay.
Because a lot of, like, I'm comparing this to, like, true crime, to stuff on Netflix, murder mysteries, like Real Life, How to Make a Murder, Making a Murder, Ted Bundy stuff. Like,
yeah.
One, it's kind of sad. I mean, I think most society is like this now. Like, I'm kind of numb to that stuff now, because it's just another murderer. And a lot of times they're very dreary and depressing, and the mood is just so down. Because, I mean,
it has to be when it's murder.
It has to be. But this scandal, this is like fun. This is like holy fucking shit. Like, there's like 50 people involved in this. Like, holy shit. The mob is involved. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
It's totally, the tone is definitely different. And that was his intention. They wanted to follow that line of having fun with it. And you want to imagine it's probably like, where is that the whole intention, or was that after they met this guy, Doug? Because him himself is just insane. So Doug wants to be the ringleader of this whole investigation, but the young gun that he is, the Bureau is obviously not going to let that happen. He wants to keep it as low-key as possible, and does not want to involve McDonald's, but he's overruled by majority of the Bureau, the older guys. They're like, no, we need to. So they don't directly get McDonald's involved. They kind of send a discreet memo to the head of their security, Rob Holm.
A very like ominous note, I would think. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
like,
you got to come to the FBI.
Yeah, you're coming to the FBI, pack up your stuff. Don't speak to anybody. Don't tell anybody anything. Just come here.
Yeah.
Very weird. And one thing, Rob Holm, like, this has to be an alias, right? Head of security, and his name is Rob Holm. Like, robbing a home. Like, where do these names come from? Sometimes I feel like people's names just put them into their profession before anything.
I don't feel like it's an alias, but maybe. I don't know.
Rob Holm. I protect you from people. Rob Holm. Anyway. So they get him. He's the head of McDonald's security. So they put it in his ear, and he professionally keeps it between himself at the time.
Well, it's him and a few people from McDonald's come down.
Right.
To the
So
meeting.
they're like minimally involved in the investigation. It's not like in the news.
No. And well, they had the option. Do we want the FBI to investigate this, or do we just want to drop it?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and just say, screw it. No, we're not going to investigate this, because, I mean,
Yeah,
holy
he
shit.
starts naming people, but I mean, if you're McDonald's, like, you see that it's like 7 people, I think, at the time were related that they only had.
But yeah, it wasn't as many. But, think about it in McDonald's, from a McDonald's standpoint, like, if they investigate this and it does happen to be an inside job, I mean, that is just.
Well, they're taking a chance that if it's someone head up in their own corporation, then they're fucked.
I know what I'm saying. Like, they are totally fucked. So it was this guy.
But obviously, Rob Holm was like, no, not under my watch. Yeah. It's definitely not here.
they kept saying that we have to do this for our customers. We have to do this for the people who, like, I guess, believe in our company. This isn't right for them. We can't keep running the Monopoly game knowing that it's probably fraud.
Right. So now Doug's first idea gets shot down, but at least they let him finally go through with his second, because this is just amazing. Like, out of a movie. He comes up with the idea of pretending to shoot a commercial for the most recent winner, Michael Hoover. Right? And this is movie stuff.
Yeah, I know.
They plan a whole elaborate sting operation
You would see this in a movie and think this would never happen in real life.
100%.
Yeah.
He puts together this whole camera crew to film a commercial, and he's the director for it, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
Love this dude.
They bring in a communications woman.
I was just going to say, they had to get someone with legit McDonald's credentials to make it make sense. She's a communications,
she was in
marketing.
communications, but she frequently talked to the winners of the Monopoly game. So this wasn't weird for them or for her. She was...
Amy Murray is her name.
She was frequently in communication with the winners of the Monopoly game.
Right, so they go to this guy Michael Hoover's house, and he's all, giddy about it like anybody would be. Winning. How do you not have a big ass smile on your face after winning $1 million, regardless of rigged or not? And like this guy Doug Matthews is just like going like this, like it's normal.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, let's go
he
here.
He is loving it. He is loving it.
Like you were on the beach when you took your nap before getting your Time magazine replaced for the thing. Let's go to the beach. Let's go. Like he's just like going with it. And one of the funny things, and I legit was kind of worried at the point, is some drunken idiot on the beach snatches the $1 million check and runs away with it. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to blow his cover because instinct's going to come out. He's going to handcuff this guy. That's what was going through my head.
Yeah, well, I think that's what was going through all of their heads because they were like, why is he chasing this guy? First of all, it's a fake check. It doesn't matter.
I know. He just went full, like, his visor went on like FBI agent. He just started sprinting. Like,
but nobody else questioned it.
Yeah, so that's just a funny little thing that like actually happened. It's not just thrown in, and they had the video footage of it, which is great. But anywho, so the commercial filming is done. Filming, quote unquote. Well,
and they asked what he was going to buy with his money. And he said a boat. And they said, what's the name of your boat going to be? And he said, Ruthless Scoundrel.
Yeah.
Just freaking giving it away. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So this guy, Mr. Hoover, Michael Hoover, thinks he's just like the many-faced god. He's like,
oh, he does.
I got them.
He thinks he's hot shit. Eating
out of the palm of my hands. Ruthless scoundrel. Ha ha ha. Idiots. This wannabe Littlefinger gets immediately on the horn. I feel like I should say that for the time reference. Get him on the horn. Grabs his house phone and starts calling his little scamming buddies. He calls someone, I think Andrew Glum, AJ Glum.
Glum, yeah. AJ Glum.
Right after filming this commercial. And the other agents, FBI agents, are in the van right outside.
Yeah, listening.
This is like straight out of Hollywood. This is real.
I know.
And they got him tapped, and they're listening to the entire conversation. And he thinks he's the shit on the phone, joking like, oh, I had that camera crew eating out of the palm of my hands. They believed everything I said.
Laughing about the name of his boat.
Laughing about the name of his boat. Like, and just boom, right then and there, they on their first run of trying to catch someone. Fantastic idea by Mr. Doug Matthews here.
By the Shamrock Production
Shamrock
Company.
Productions.
Cause you're just lucky. Was its tagline.
Like, how did this guy, like, how is this stuff real? Like, oh my God.
It's so amazing. It is so awesome.
Hoover believed that, and then he thinks he's being a funny guy with the name of his boat. It's like, idiot. Look at the white van outside that says Shamrock Productions.
And how crazy is it? The story that he came up with, this detailed story that he was on the beach, and because he didn't win his million from going to McDonald's. He won it from a magazine, which I honestly didn't even know that was a thing.
They used to have like coupon pages, basically.
I didn't know that, but that's how he got his. But he had this whole elaborate story about how he had the People magazine, and he got sand on it, so he went to go wash off, but his bag that he had, I guess, on his back or whatever, fell into the water, so he lost the magazine and wanted to go get another one, and that one just happened to be the winner. Like, he had this whole elaborate story. It was just crazy.
It's like out of a fairy tale.
Something cool that I read about the investigation, though, is, well, I don't know if I should say this yet because we haven't talked about the main guy yet. Because this is in reference to the main guy. Well,
real quick, that is the big boom.
Yes.
That the guy gave it away on the phone after the supposed commercial filming. But the episode ends with just an immediate and absolute bombshell
Yes.
of a revelation. And through searching through phone records of, now they've got a couple names down of these scammers, multiple winners, common names of people that they're calling on the phone. And they see this name constantly being referenced, Uncle Jerry.
Well, we hear Uncle Jerry being referenced. And then we see Jerome Jacobson appearing on everybody's
Call log.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jerome Jacobson's in this intra-network of McMillions scammers. And I'm getting chills about to say it. The episode just ends with, by the way, the individual's name, Uncle Jerry, is a.k.a. Jerome Jackson, a.k.a. the head of security at Simon Marketing.
Jerome Jacobson.
What'd I say?
Jackson.
Sorry. Jerome Jacobson, the head of fucking security at Simon Marketing.
And then the episode's just over.
Who is frontlining the entire promotion sweepstakes for McDonald's.
Crazy.
I literally hopped up on the couch and looked over like, what? Rewind that.
Yeah.
Did they just say that? They just said that.
Holy shit, I know.
Rob Holmes probably sitting there like, see, not on my watch. He's such a big brute, like
he is.
Looks like a giant teddy bear. Like even his speech sometimes, like this guy was just born to protect people, not a politician.
So, yeah, they have Jerome, aka Jerry Jacobson, and a real quick fact that I read is when they wanted to wiretap Jerry Jacobson's phone, they put in a request with a phone company and I don't know, there's like a whole big thing they have to go through, obviously. But they faxed something over to a phone company in Atlanta because he lived, I think, like outside of Atlanta or something. And it just so happens, this is also another thing that would happen in a movie that you would be like, no fucking way in hell, that is real.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens that Jerry Jacobson's current wife at the time was the administrative assistant to the president of that company. And
to Simon Media?
No, to the phone company that they faxed to get a wiretap on Jerry Jacobson's phone. And part of her job, do you know what part of her job was? Retrieving the faxes.
No, I didn't even.
How?
I missed that part.
No, this was in the podcast I listened to.
Oh, I was going to say, I did not remember this.
No, this was a little extra. This actually had to get cut, which is so upsetting because this is.
How do they cut that? That's like.
I know. Insane. So.
The fact that they had to cut that means I need to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, there was it's a podcast with the directors, the creators, directors, and they have guests come on for each episode. But yeah, so the entire investigation almost had, well, not entire investigation, but they could have totally been fucked. But she just so happened to have taken off that day.
No.
How insane. How insane. Like this doesn't happen in real life.
Wait a minute. How did they leave that out? They definitely left that out of the show.
Yes.
Because I don't remember that.
Yeah, he said it was a deleted scene. They played it on the podcast and it was Doug Matthews telling the story. It was his voice.
So if she was at work that day, she takes that, she rips it up, nothing happens.
Or she takes it
and tells
her husband he doesn't use the phone they said for 2 weeks. If he didn't use the phone, if they didn't get anything from the wiretap in 2 weeks, it would have been a
Soprano situation. You know he did it, you can't prove it. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So she could have, on the podcast, they said if she was smart and she saw it, she would have kept her mouth shut, told her husband, he would have not used his phone for a couple weeks, and they would have been fucked. But they were scrambling. They were like, I guess they had to talk to people at the company and be like, are you sure she's not there? And they were like, no, we're positive. She didn't see it. She's not here. Somebody was sick or something. Like they had the excuse why she wasn't there.
Oh my God. I can't wait to watch more of this after. Oh my God.
I know.
And I can't wait to listen to this podcast because now I need to.
Yeah. Well, that episode was really good. The first one.
Yeah. So hopping into the second one after that, it's just as good because now we're getting into Doug's third idea or second idea, really. The first one wasn't really an idea. He just wanted to keep it low key. Now he has this idea of what?
It's just funny. He's got great ideas.
He does. This guy is great. That economics major.
Oh yeah, he was an accountant with an economics major
This guy
and
is me.
became an FBI agent. So are you gonna go be an FBI agent?
I might.
Yeah.
I mean, me and this guy are on similar paths right now. I legit have an economics degree.
I know.
I've been a corporate accountant now for 5 years. And I'm also tremendously fucking bored with it. So this guy went the route where I'm going to go solve crimes and be an FBI agent. I'm here like, I'm going to go watch more TV and play more video games and then talk about it. But still, we had a mind-changing moment probably at the same time, 5-year mark.
Yeah, probably.
But great minds think alike because his second idea is that they are going to have a reunion in Vegas for all the previous winners. Talk it up, gas it up. We're going to put them all in one place. We're going to start catching them. Boom, boom, boom. On site to arrest. But Doug must have forgotten about his accounting background because he didn't realize how fucking ridiculously expensive this would be. And how McDonald's and the FBI was not going to pay for it.
No.
So,
definitely not.
Once they put this together, they keep the dream alive of the Vegas reunion as a selling point, but the trip to Vegas it became an incentive. What they did was we're going to call people in to interview them for the promotional event, videos, commercials about Vegas.
No, I think they told him that they were going to get a trip to Vegas and they were just lying about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It was incentive to come do the interview.
Yeah,
you would go to Vegas, but they weren't actually going to go to Vegas.
Right. No, it was all fake.
Right. And this plan was genius because it avoids entrapment. Just basically giving them the opportunity to coerce their opinions or speak to lawyers, whatever. It's just pure, raw, opening up about your life-changing experience of winning $1 million, not how did you win. It's just, tell us about it. And man, oh man, Buddy Fisher, you should have stayed home.
That part made me a little sad, honestly. I felt a little bad for the guy.
Do we have confirmation this guy get whacked by the mob leader because he's such a dumbass?
Apparently he died in a car crash. Yeah.
Did they say that?
No, I looked it up.
Oh man, because my little notes here, what I was going to get into and say,
I'm pretty
just
sure.
foots to that.
I'm pretty sure. Keep talking.
Because, okay, so poor Buddy that I'm explaining, Buddy Fisher, is the dude who is profusely just dripping that guilty conscious sweat in the middle of the interview. His story after winning $1 million was the sorriest attempt of the truth like ever. There is not a single person who didn't think he was telling the truth, who did think he was telling the truth. Because of the sweat dripping down of him, coming out of his shirt, his forehead.
So sad.
He was like, he didn't seem happy at all about winning $1 million. He looked like he was nervous as hell to go home and get shot.
So did you say who that guy was?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
So all I was going to say is why even show up if you can't tell the truth? He had his story about winning $1 million like, oh, I immediately contacted a lawyer just to be safe. Like, yeah, I had to get someone else's opinion. Like, he just was not happy at all about it. There was no emotion in his face. And that was my point, is why even show up? I wrote down, I'm surprised the mob didn't whack him after this. And the reason I'm talking about the mob.
So it's somebody else who died in a car accident. Now, Buddy Fisher has passed away because his daughter was featured on the second episode of the podcast. And she talked about how he had passed away and seeing him.
Did they say how?
No.
Because I feel like this guy blew up their spot.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably would have found out another way, but it was just, they were making it so easy. This guy, Doug, just looks like a genius of an FBI agent. Like, he's just home running every one of his ideas.
I know.
So the reason I'm saying the mob didn't whack him is because we also learn in this episode that there are two Jerrys.
Yeah.
There's Jerry Jacobson, the head of security, and then also Jerry
Colombo.
Jerry Colombo.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gennaro Colombo.
I'm blanking out the exact moment that this was brought to our attention of the mom, but I believe it's repeatedly comes up in some of these phone call records of someone actually utters subject as a mobster running his mafia empire, something along those lines. But uncle is a common Italian thing or mafia term, to the one who's taking care of you, looking after you, money-wise, protection, whatever. Uncle Jerry. So that's how he gets the name.
Uncle Jerry.
Yeah.
Well, we wonder too, is Uncle Jerry a reference to both of these Jerrys? Is it a reference to the Colombo Jerry? Like, who is it a reference to? And it's actually, we find out it's a reference to Jerry Jacobson.
Right. Eventually. Yeah. We do learn. And then this episode's more about introducing the two Jerrys on a human level from their friends and relatives.
Right. Yeah.
Because it goes into Jerry Jacobson's stepbrother. See them interviewing him. And
his ex-wife.
That was the Colombo's ex-wife. We
see Jerry Jacobson's ex-wife too.
Oh, we do.
With the dog.
We do. Yes, the one with the dog and the haunting laugh. Holy shit. I was more scared at her laugh than El Cuco the entire time in The Outsider. Anyway, so it's going into their, now it's introduction. Let me introduce them on a human level for you before you learn about all the bad things they've done. Just, good filmmaking the way they're doing this.
Yeah.
Progression-wise. So Jerry Jacobson seems like an honest, good-natured man, which, wouldn't say that. Uncle Jerry's handing out millions to people. Of course, he's a nice guy. Ex-cop. And then we learn also from the Colombo, the other Jerry, that this is when it's just, they hit you with it. The last name Colombo, crime family.
Crime family.
Italian mafia, his brother's there.
A part of
talking. His ex-wife is there. She comes out in the red dress in an all red room. I don't know if she came out before or after. I was like, this is like mafioso. They have to be in the mob or something. She just looks like real mob wife.
So apparently the Colombo crime family is the youngest of the 5 families in New York. It's a big deal. It's been this huge.
His brother looks like Joe Pesci.
Yeah, they've had 3 internal wars. They're
over the McNuggets.
Their current boss or their most recent boss that we know of passed away in prison in 2019. But do you know what his nickname was?
What?
Junior.
Straight out of The Sopranos.
So Sopranos, yeah.
Okay. Real bad miss here by the showrunners for this.
What?
Because the Colombo's brother, I don't know his name, but Jerry's brother, they're interviewing him and his wife.
Yeah.
And he's talking about it, comparing it, and he's like, it was like something out of The Sopranos. And then they go through this clip montage, and they don't show anything from The Sopranos.
I'm like, what the hell?
It's HBO.
Yeah, what the fuck?
On HBO.
They show Goodfellas,
Casino,
The Godfather.
Casino, Robert De Niro breaking the guy's knuckles.
Yeah, oh yeah, uh-huh.
And we're like...
But no Sopranos.
Yeah, that was just a total miss by them. Whatever.
Can't reference The Sopranos and not show me Tony Soprano. Come on.
Exactly. Which, by the way, I have to let the people know who don't know.
Oh, God.
I went to high school in the town over from where it was filmed. I won't say the same town because people over here will be like, oh, that was in North Caldwell. You lived in West Caldwell. It's fucking 2 miles away.
It's Caldwell.
It was our rival high school, though, that his little twerp son, AJ, went to. Mm-hmm. But yes. And all of that show filmed up and down Bloomfield Ave here, which we are 2 blocks away from right now. So just a cool fact about where our locale is.
So yeah, we find out the mob is big time mob family, heavily involved in this McDonald's Monopoly game.
They were basically calling up like, hey, over here. Like, where's my sticker? It's my turn.
Yeah.
They're basically requesting it, and the big crime boss, whatever, was getting a cut of it, I think.
Of course. Yeah, he had to be.
No.
But so the Buddy Fisher, who we were talking about earlier, just happens to be Jerry Colombo's father-in-law.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And according to his daughter, who is the red dress woman, he finally called up Jerry and just kind of like, I think I want the money.
Yeah, yeah.
And Jerry made it happen. But she said he was not a good liar. He had never committed any crimes in his entire life. Like, it was just
He's married into the mob. He's not.
Well, his daughter married into the mob.
Yeah, so
so he was
well,
not.
I mean, it's all always connected. They're always, the family knows the family. Like, they don't marry outside anyway.
No, they did. They had a lot of falling outs with his family because she was so against like everything they were doing and all the rules and everything. So yeah, she was not your typical mob wife.
And I think it's reported like roughly there were 53 family members and friends involved in this whole thing.
Jesus Christ.
That's just the ones that they can prove.
Yep.
Got to be more than that. To go under the radar for 10, 12 years, over a fucking decade.
How insane.
It has to be very widely explored between all these members.
So to move on past the mob, which is crazy, this episode also brings in how they start to talk about how this could have even happened. And it turns out that Jerry Jacobson is the chief of security at Simon Marketing. So part of his job was transporting the winning Monopoly pieces to the printer to put on, various things. And so the way that it would work is they knew which pieces were winners, and they would mix them in with some that weren't. And they would put it in a locked briefcase, drive it to where they produced the cups, the French fry container, whatever. Yeah. And they would randomly hand put them on the stuff.
Yes.
So that they still didn't know, which ones were which, whatever.
Like, they weren't even putting it on there. They were just taking the winning one.
Yeah.
Because Marvin Braun, Jerome Jacobson's stepbrother, Marvin Braun, says that he was offered a winning ticket in a local restaurant and he was fed up and he took it and flushed it down the toilet.
Yep.
And in his mind, he thought that was going to be the end of it, but no, kept going.
Nope.
And then the other thing thrown into this episode is the St. Jude's Hospital thing, who had an anonymous winner, but basically Jerome Jacobson just handed them a winning thing and gave it away to St. Jude. So it's like, how could you even be mad at the guy? This is the Robin Hood of America.
I know. It's
in
like
the 20th century.
He just he forced McDonald's to give St. Jude's $1 million.
He is the man. This is Robin Hood, but only to his family. Not fair.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I'm excited to see more of where it goes.
Yes.
And I mean, I skipped over another aspect of the way they handled these winning tickets was to access the vault that had, I guess, the print-offs in them. You had to have two people punching in at the same time, putting the keys in at the same time, so that you always had some kind of accomplice, I guess. But somehow Jerry Jacobson would stand over their shoulder and watch the codes being put in. It still did it fully explain how he was able to get in there without.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think he was just up until literally putting the sticker on the fries. Had it, and that's when he sleight of hand, whatever. Maybe he was the only one in the room, or with two other people, like choosing which actual box of fries to put it on. Maybe he was the one actually putting them on. I don't know if that's vividly explained.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
how I
it
took it. It
is.
was up until the point of placing the sticker, which was when he took it.
Yeah, I mean, because they made a point to talk about how, you know, the vault worked and everything. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm extremely excited to see where this goes and
As soon as we
more
hop
detail.
off on here, we're turning it on. I can't wait.
I'm very excited. It's just
So this is like, this is great TV to just be. Everyone has to experience this. Everyone, because it's not just gone over my head. I know that this has gone over everyone's head completely. There are people, older people I've been telling to watch and stuff, and they're like, "What? That McDonald's thing was rigged?" And I'm like, "Yes, the whole time.
it is
12 years, and it's not just what I thought."
It's still going on, right? Just in different names. They kind of do like different.
What's still going on?
The Monopoly.
They still do that?
I think so.
I didn't think so. I thought that's been done with.
No, I think it says it's currently called. Let's see. Coast to Coast? No, that's in Canada.
I don't think it's still going on.
I think it is.
Whatever. They probably have some other sweepstake that's being rigged by somebody else. Like, how could you, and I've always said this, a lottery and scratch offs, all that bullshit is 100% rigged. It like really grinds my gears just watching what goes on in my office at work, where people hoard
grind
up
your gears real good.
real fucking good, because I am just like a frugal person at heart, accounting. Like, I'm smart with my money. I don't spend it on stupid shit. And I see everybody coming, running over to the lunchroom 2 times a week, like, oh, how many do we get? How many do we get? Like, buying fucking lottery tickets. And I just wholeheartedly believe it's rigged. It's probably the easiest thing to rig. And not rigged like the winners, rigged like purposely not letting people win until it builds up. Because they get
I don't disagree with that.
huge money into our government's pocket from the taxes they take from it. So they let it purposely get up to like 500 million, 400 million. And us idiots, not us, not me, all you idiots, my parents' family members are included, like, spending money on that is so dumb. Because how easy is it? A computer knows every single ticket that's out there. Every single ticket that is scanned is run through the system because they know the location of the winner right away. It's all in a computer. And you're telling the computer which combination has not been drawn. How easy is it to just put a magnet in the ball, suck up the right one so that the combination doesn't get called? It's just totally rigged to me. And watching this now, even more so. I'm all in on the conspiracies. All in.
I have some
Great
conspiracies,
conversation.
but not for. I've never had like a huge conspiracy for the lottery. I don't know why.
Wholeheartedly. Because this is what everyone says. I always say, like, oh, you're more likely to get eaten by a bear while being struck by lightning 3 times than to win the lottery. Well, what are the odds?
That's not a real statistic.
Whatever it
by
is.
the way.
Whatever it is. I want to see the stat of what are the chances of nobody winning with all the numbers that have been drawn? Because I bet you it's not that crazy.
What do you mean?
So out of all the tickets that get bought for any specific lottery in a specific area, whatever, I don't even know a lot of the jurisdictions of it and stuff. There's some of them that run multiple states. There's some that are secluded to tri-state, whatever.
Right.
The ones that are like nationwide, out of all the tickets, I mean, everybody I know gets 20 tickets at least by themselves. Just multiply and compound all of that. All the tickets that are out there, what are the chances of none of them hitting versus the chances that they like to feed in your brain of you winning are so impossible? How impossible is it that nobody won out of the trillion tickets there are? Because I bet you it's not as rare as the other way around.
Have you ever bought a lottery ticket?
You want to know something crazy? This is a real story.
Okay.
Real story. Swear to God, I'm not making this up.
Okay.
Once
And
I
you won?
bought a Mega Millions, right? That's the Powerball one.
You hit the Powerball?
No.
Oh.
So you can get a random generized thing, or you can pick your numbers.
Right. Yes, I've picked numbers before.
So I picked my numbers. I bought one ticket. Said if God wants me to win, I will win. That's my faith. That's what I believe.
No, I agree. Anytime that I've ever bought a lottery ticket, which is probably 3 times in my life, I've just bought one.
So, true story. I bought a Powerball ticket. That's 5 numbers and the Powerball.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's payouts for hitting different numbers.
Right.
So, I handpick all my numbers. Now, if you get the 5 but not the Powerball, it's $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
You get 4, it's $100.
You hit 4.
I am not kidding. I'm telling you, I'm not exaggerating. My mother, brother, they can attest to this. Picked my numbers, because after this, she had me picking her numbers for a year.
Wait. Do you have like $1 million saved up somewhere that I don't know about?
No. You want me to really crush your heart? So, hit the first number, hit the second number, hit the third number, hit the fourth number, $100. The fifth number, I had handpicked 13. You know what it was? 14. I swear on my life, I was a single digit away from $1 million.
Damn.
The Powerball didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And I never played again. It's the only time.
Do you want to hear a funny story that's like the opposite of that? One time when I was a kid, I mean, I don't have the best luck in the world.
Disagree. But okay.
Okay. So I was young and I found I sound like such a loser. I found a 4-leaf clover and I was like, oh my God, I'm so lucky. I have such good luck. I must be like, it's like in the air or something. So I got my dad to buy me a lottery ticket and I picked all the numbers and I don't think I hit one.
Your shamrock was bullshit.
I know it was.
Well, that's the total opposite. Opposites attract. But yes, true story. I am not making that up at all. 1 digit. Never played again.
Yeah, that's
My mom had me picking her numbers for a year.
And you never won again.
Although every time you're wasting your money.
I did have good luck the one time I've ever gambled.
That's why I said disagree.
Okay, one piece of good luck. And I gambled in Atlantic City.
Fucking good piece of good luck.
16's my lucky number.
Yeah, so real quick with this, we're in Atlantic City, her first time going for my dad's like 49th birthday or something. A couple years back, we first started dating. And my dad's one of those people. Doesn't gamble at all. But whenever he plays anything, he wins.
Yeah, he's got some luck.
Scratch off football pools, box pools, slot machine, everything. Doesn't gamble. But when he does, he wins. Yeah. He has that luck. So we're in AC. We go out. We go to the Spanish place. Good food. We're dancing, drinking, whatever. Going back to the room at like 2 in the morning. My dad's like, I've never played a table game before. I've only played slot machines. And he wins it. Like he walks away from Atlantic City with like $500 every time from slot machines. So I'm trying to explain methodically how I win money on roulette. I play the small ball game, you know, putting $1 on 15 different numbers, whatever, playing the board, a third of the board, slowly pocketing money. I'm trying to explain all this to him and he's not having any of it. He's like, what happens if I hit the number, if I bet one number? I'm like, you know, you win 32 times the number, but that's why, whatever. That's why I play the small ball game. And he looks at Josette and he's like, what number? She's like, well, I won off a horse one time off of 16. It's my luck.
Oh yeah, that's another good luck thing.
It's my lucky number. This motherfucker just drops $50 on red 16. And I'm like, Dad, that is such a bad bet. Like, don't do that. No bullshit. Lands on red 16. Walk away.
Yep, we cashed out immediately.
With stupid money off of 10 minutes. Split it.
Yep.
Walked away. Whatever. Ended that. So you do have some good luck.
But it's first timer's luck, because the first time I ever bet on a horse at the Kentucky Derby, I bet on 16. He won.
See, I also believe that those dealers know where that ball is going to land, and he probably saw and was like, "Oh, first time bettors. If I get this close to them,
we want them to keep going.
Yeah, just reel them in."
It didn't work. We cashed out immediately. I think I walked right. Your dad gave me like $500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took some too. We let him keep it. We let him keep majority because he put the money down there. Yeah. And it was his birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I got some new Nikes and some new Nike gear across the street the next door.
While I was throwing up out the window.
While she was throwing up in the McDonald's parking lot. Oh, McMillions!
Bring it right back around.
Wow, that was just so. That just happened so naturally. That was beautiful.
So perfect.
That was beautiful.
On that note.
On that note, I think that's going to be it today. So we ran through The Outsider episode 7. Our thoughts on the first 2 episodes of McMillions. We're going to hop off here. Go watch episode 3. So we'll definitely be talking about that next week, especially when I catch up on the podcast for McMillions as well. But same as always, anybody who listens, thank you so much. Love you guys. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Savvy Sloth, followed by an _. YouTube is just Savvy Sloth. And as always, stay savvy.